The power of a heat press is pretty incredible. It gives us the ability to truly print on demand within seconds. It's also a very, very easy decoration method to learn how to either teach yourself or teach others that you've hired into your business. It also gives us the ability to decorate on a variety of different textiles that maybe you don't want to embroidery and maybe you don't want to screen print. But something we don't talk about enough is the variety of garments that are constructed in a way that kind of inhibit us to get a nice smooth surface at all times. So what product do you use to make sure you get a nice smooth application with a heat press? It's pillows. So keep watching and I'm going to show you exactly why you need pillows in your heat printing business. Welcome back to the heat printing community of Stahls TV. I'm Kelly and I love when people tell me I can't do something or they can't do something, because now I have to find a way to say that I can or help you say that you can. And when it comes to garments or accessories, that the construction makeup really involves a lot of embellishments, seams, zippers. You could talk about pockets, the flaps on pockets, right? All of those things cause a little bit of chaos when it comes to using your heat press. Not a lot. It's a very, very easy fix, and that's when we use heat printing pillows. Now, when I'm talking about a garment that has, a lot of seams or zippers, I've got this denim jacket right here that is a great example of that. As you can see, we have a seam going back here across the yoke, multiple seams going down. If we turn it around to the front, we've got buttons. We also have the flap on the pocket with more buttons. Extra material, right? Because there's a physical pocket. More seams down here. And when you place that item or that garment under your heat press, that heating element is going to hit those seams or anything that is raised to the highest point first before your transfer. So something you want to make sure that we do is really give a nice level playing field so your heat transfer can apply to that entire surface area evenly. So we are going to look at pillows. I'm also going to show why you would use a pillow over a print perfect pad. And then of course, what transfers you should not use pillows with. So let's go ahead and review some of the products and accessories. That way we can tie everything together. Now, the cool thing about pillows is that they come in a variety of different sizes. Now, I've got two here, which is a 10 by 10. And then I also have an 11 by 15. Now, these are covered in a reusable cover sheet or Teflon with a foam pillow or pad on the inside. Now, what is going to happen is when that pressure of your heating element goes down, it's going to crunch this pad, but all those embellishments or seams or buttons and zippers are going to go into the pillow where the pillow absorbs it, dropping those down, giving us a nice even surface area on top. I'm going to show you it in just a second, but at first I wanted to show you exactly what the pillows look like. They can come in a couple of different colors depending on the reusable cover sheet that is covering the pillow. But from Stahls, this is what they look like. And there's a legging sleeve, which is a 6 by 20. There's a 16 by 20. I think there's a 4 by 6. Like there's a whole bunch of different sizes depending on your project or of course the size of your item. So think about a onesie, right? That would be the perfect time to use a pillow if you don't have a small enough platen. Now, I am using the Hotronix Auto Clam 16 by 20 behind me, and I do have the 11 by 15 platen currently installed. Now, I'm going to use this for a couple of our items, which is going to be the polo and this raglan short sleeve. And then I'm going to switch out the platen for something bigger and smaller. We're also going to decorate on a backpack and show you why you wouldn't use a pillow. And then we are going to go over Ultra Color Max, which is a medium pressure, and Goof Proof, which is a heavy pressure, and why you would use a pillow for one and not the other. So let's go ahead and get set up at the press. Now, the first item we're going to press is this Badger raglan short sleeve kind of throw on cover shirt, right? It's 100% polyester. It's extremely lightweight. But the one thing I wanted to show you was that we have multiple seams going on. We have the seam for the hood, we have the seam for the sleeve, and then we've also got the raglan type of shape to this item. But instead of it just being a raglan, we have the entire shoulder as well. So what do you do if your platen is too big? And no matter what you do, you're going to have those seams on your platen. That's when you would use a pillow. Now, yes, this platen is smaller. I can wiggle the garment to where the seams are off. And now I have a completely nice flat working area to make sure that our transfer and our heating element are going to get applied evenly and consistently throughout the garment. But let's say you wanted to do a left chest and you don't have a way of lifting this area up. That's when you would be able to take your pillow, insert it where you need it, get a better idea on where your left chest logo needs to be instead of having to pull it all the way off the garment, and then now you only have about an inch to really place your left chest logo. Now in this particular case, we are doing a center logo, and you know what? Let's rotate it this way. Now, you have a couple of options when it comes to pillows. You can thread, which means you open up your shirt, your garment, accessory, you toss that pillow in, and now your pillow is inside whatever material you're working with. That way, if you need to go this route, then you know what? You can constantly put that pillow in and out of your garment. But if you have a cover, a platen cover, like this has, I'm gonna actually take my pillow, place it right here, put my cover back over the platen, and putting that pillow underneath. Now, this gives you the ability to still work with the cushion of the pillow, but instead of having to thread every single item, you can easily just place your garment over your platen. Now, it is best if it is threaded, which means you open your garment like a pillowcase or accessory and place it over the platen. So from here, I can either do something high up on the neck and know that I can see everywhere I need to place, or of course you can slide it off and work with something down below. But I just wanted to give you an idea on being able to create a nice clean surface area if you do not have the ability to go to smaller platens. If this was a 16 by 20, we would have a much harder time working with all of these seams. Now I'm going to flip this back. Thread my garment again. And I'm going to keep it there. I want these seams, I want this to be on here because we are using a pillow. I am going to have support with the pillow to be able to get a nice clean surface area. So one thing I want you to keep in mind is when you add a pillow, I can't even get my press down right now without it going into overload, which is now at a 7. So that is a very high pressure, and I only need a medium. So that would be a 4, 5, or 6 when it comes to Premium Plus. So anytime you add a pillow, any type of printing accessory that is going to lift your item, you have to keep in mind that your pressure has to be adjusted. Not only does it have to be adjusted because we went to a smaller platen, it also has to be adjusted because we've now messed with the original pressure of just the heating element and the platen. So I'm going to adjust this just a little bit. I'm going to go a little bit more. And now my press is ready. So going to take my Premium Plus, and keep in mind, I still have my seam on the platen. Find my midpoint. I'm going to go about 3 fingers down. Take a nice clean cover sheet. All right, this is warmed down, and now I can go in and easily peel the carrier off of our design. Now, you'll notice that we have this beautiful polyester, and now our logo has stretch capability. We were able to work around the seams and just really the construction of this garment. If you wanted to come in and place something right here, you easily could, simply by working with the garment, putting in a pillow, and making sure that you had this area either raised or it had support for the seam to go into the pillow. Up next, we have the beloved polo. Now, this not only has the collar, we also have the button detail, and not only is there extra material that's thicker, we also have the hard plastic of the buttons. So that's definitely not going to flatten, say, like a textile would, because this is nice and hard. We have the seam here, and of course that shoulder seam as well. So I am going to stay working with my 11 by 15. And of course, if this was a 15 by 15, a 16 by 16, a 16 by 20, it doesn't matter. We could still put the pillow in there and not have any issues. So because this is pretty thick, I am going to slide that off. And now I have my area right here, as well as knowing that my buttons and my neck is going to go into that pillow. Now here we're using a printable media, which is soft opaque. So this is a white material that has been printed on with an eco-solvent printer, and we can get full color capability. This is just nice and simple. Nice and clean. I want to make sure that I have got my placement correct, and I'm going to slide this over just a little bit. And now I don't have to worry about just putting my cover sheet on top. Now, if you'll notice, our pressure adjusted to 5 versus a 4, and that's because those seams are just a little bit thicker than what they were on the other garment. So that is, again, something to pay attention to. Now, this is a hot peel. Peeled beautifully, and now we easily decorated a left chest polo without having to worry about a smaller platen that easily had embellishments, added to the garment. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to take my pillow out, put my platen back to its original state, and I'm actually going to switch this out for a 16 by 20. Now, my pillow is already in here, so I showed you how to easily do that. And next, we are going to decorate the denim jacket. It's a thicker material, thicker seams, multiple going throughout. And when we use our Ultra Color Max, this is going to apply over some of the seams. So I really, really want to make sure that these are not getting the most amount of pressure compared to, say, something in the middle, which is why, again, a pillow is super important. We're not just focusing in the middle of this jacket, we're really looking at the entire surface area and printing over those seams. Now, I'm going to thread it going this way. Now, we want to do a pressure check. So, because it is a 16 by 20, I have a pillow in there. Again, that is really, really firm pressure. So, I'm going to loosen this up. We only need a medium pressure when it comes to our Ultracolor Max. So, I'm going to stay right there. Going to take my transfer, find my middle, and really just place it where I want. I know that I want some of the print on the seam. I also want to make sure that I've got some of the print going to the other part of the sides of the denim jacket. And I also want to make sure that my logo is in the center as best as possible. Now with Ultracolor Max, you don't necessarily need a cover sheet. You can easily put one on top, but everything is set. Let's adjust our time. Gonna go for 15 seconds. And this will be a hot peel. And very, very easily, we printed over the seams and a very, very large scale on this denim jacket. So with a printing pillow, your heat press, even different size of platens, you have the ability to really capitalize on so much print space with whatever garment or accessory you're decorating. Okay, before we switch out onto our next item, which is going to be the backpack, I want to talk about the difference between a heat printing pillow and a print perfect pad. Now this is a super, super dense and thick mouse pad, you could say, but it's about double or triple the thickness of a standard mouse pad. Now, like I said, it's extremely dense and the rubber makes it give the ability to really raise the item surface area. But what's going to happen is those seams are not going to go into the pad. So when you've got your pillow, you have something that's nice and squishy and soft, and the seam can go into the pillow, where this is really meant to raise the surface area up above embellishments or other areas of the item or accessory that you're trying to decorate with, and it gives you a nice firm pressure. So this one, the pressure is going to adjust a little bit as you close your heating element. This is going to stay extremely consistent, and you are definitely going to have to ease up on your pressure of your heating element. So we are going to switch out the platen. I'm going to go from a 16 by 20. And I'm going to use our 4 by 6. Now, when I put this on here, the reason why it's important to note that sometimes you're going to have to really work with different types of equipment and accessories to decorate on those difficult items. You can say yes, you can do it, but it's about understanding the type of setup that you need to create in order to get the job done. Is it difficult? No, you just have to think about isolating the area. So this backpack that we have from Oakley already has a PVC logo on it that we used our 360 with. Now we had the ability, right, to open this flap up, decorate on that. But now I want to decorate on the top of this bag. And the importance of this to keep in mind is we're working with a zipper, we're working with a zipper cover. We actually have the merchandising element here, and then the double layer, as well as the seams of the top and buckles. So there's a lot going on. And if we would have used that 11 by 15 platen, even with having our pad under this, it still wouldn't have lifted it high enough to really make sure that these metal buckles were down below. So let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so you already saw me switch out the platen. We've got our pad. Now, when I take the flap of the bag, this is great, right? It gets our nice thick buckles off. Yes, we've got our seam kind of riding on the cusp of it, but we don't get rid of this nice issue right here, right? So we could put a pillow there and this could go down, but one thing that I really like about this when it comes to a pillow is you could either take this pad, right? I said pillow, but pad, and put it in that pocket, and now that zipper and this zipper cover is going to drop below the pad. So that means that this printing area is going to be raised and only hitting the heating element versus taking a chance of everything right here hitting the element or hitting the heating element. Now, if this was rubber or if this was metal, you would definitely want to make sure that it was off. But then we're gonna have to worry about where this seam is. So like I said, can you do it? Absolutely. Do you have to think about the size of the logo and the best way to raise the material? Yep, but you know what? It can easily be done. Now, because we dropped our platen to a smaller size, that's going to change our pressure, but we also put that Print Perfect pad in here that is nice, thick, and dense. So that's going to adjust the pressure as well. So let's just do a quick little test. And it is at a 6.5, so we are at medium pressure, but because of the platen size, that's definitely going to be heavy in terms of overall surface area. So what we want to do is loosen that up. And then I'm going to take our Ultra Weed, giving some personalization to this bag of Captain. I'm going to go ahead and use my cover sheet because of the embellishments. And we are going to apply for the full time. Now, Ultra Weed is a hot peel, so of course when that heating element pops up, you can remove that carrier right away. So now we have not only given a really nice, cool logo to the front of the bag using the 360, but we were also able to decorate an entirely different area. And even if you don't have a 360, maybe it was a power platen, you still have the ability to decorate all over this bag, capitalizing on all of those locations and of course, those other areas where you can, charge just a little bit extra. Now let's talk about what not to do with pillows. When it comes to transfers, you can use twill, vinyl, you can use printable media, you can use glitter, you can use screen printed transfers, direct to film, hybrid transfers, right? With printing, with heat printing, it really even opens the doors to patches and emblems. There's so much that you can do. When you're using a pillow, if you noticed, our pressure was adjusting on that press, right? I could easily see that readout. So it's really, really important with your transfers that you are able to see time, temperature, and pressure when it comes to your press. That TTP is the perfect recipe to make sure that you're getting the longevity and durability out of those transfers once they're applied to whatever garment or accessory. Now, when it comes to something like Goof Proof or ElastiPrint, which is both a plastisol transfer, they require a very high pressure. We're talking 7, 8, 9 on my autoclam, really staying at that 8 and 9. When you're using that pillow and at the minute that heating element starts to lower down, you're already starting to activate the ink and the adhesive with that plastisol, which is going to mess up that true heavy pressure. So no pillows for plastisol transfers, Goof Proof and ElastiPrint, or our hybrid transfers, which would be our Ultracolor Pro, Ultracolor Soft, Ultracolor Soft with a blocker, right? Like that's the hybrid. Stay away from those when it comes to using a pillow. Now, so it's just really, really important that pressure is very accurate when it comes to using a product like screen printed transfers and Goof Proof. Now, if you are playing around with transfers and the pressure, you can head to stahls.com or transferexpress.com and find the recipes, okay, the recommended time, temperature, and pressure when it comes to our products. That way we can really help guide you down what you need to use and when. Do you use a cover sheet? Can you use a pillow? Can you use a pad? We've got all that information easily listed for you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully this gave you a path to choosing the right pillows and right accessories for whatever item, garment, and of course the equipment that you have. We'll see you next time, and happy decorating.